Hey, good morning, everybody. Rev here this morning. It is Thursday. It is August the 19th, 2021. And I would, very first of all, this morning, I would like to say a very happy birthday to my dad. Today's his birthday, and I will call him after a while, but I just want him to know that I love him very much and happy birthday to him. I hope that you are safe and well and blessed this morning. I hope that you are ready to be a witness for Jesus. I don't want you to miss out on opportunities because you're going to get one. You're going to get one today. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 39, it says this: "Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." May God add his blessing to the reading and hearing of his word this morning. Otto Koning was a missionary in the country of New Guinea. And he worked among a native tribe that had known only their village ways. And one of those village ways was stealing from others. And so when Otto and his wife arrived there, they moved into this little hut. And the natives often came by to visit. And the Konings would notice that after the natives left, various household items had disappeared. And they saw these items again when they went to preach in the natives' village. Well, the only fruit that Otto could grow on the island was pineapples. And Otto loved pineapples. He took pride in the pineapples that he was able to grow. However, whenever the pineapples began to ripen, the natives would come and steal them. And Otto could never keep a pineapple for himself because they would come and steal them. And it was frustrating for Otto, and he became angry with the natives. And all this took place for 7 years. And Otto would preach the gospel to these natives, but he never had a conversion. The more the natives stole, the angrier Otto became. And finally, one day, Otto had a German Shepherd dog flown in from another missionary to protect his pineapple garden after other frustrated efforts had failed. This only further alienated the natives from him. Well, Otto took a furlough. He came back to the United States and he attended a conference on personal rights. And at this conference, he discovered that he was frustrated over this situation that he had, because he had taken personal ownership of his pineapple garden. So after a whole lot of soul searching, he gave his garden to God. And soon, the natives started having problems among their tribe. And they discovered that Otto was the reason for their problems because he had given his garden to God. And the natives saw a correlation between what Otto had done and their own lives being affected by the calamities in their village. And when Otto gave his garden to God, he no longer got angry and was free from worry. Well, the next thing you know, the natives started bringing fruit from the garden because they didn't want any more calamities to come into their village. The light came on one day when a native said to Otto, he said, "You must have become a Christian, Otto. You don't get angry anymore. We always wondered if we would ever meet a Christian." You see, the natives had never associated Otto with the kind of person he was preaching about because his message did not line up with his life. Otto was broken in spirit when he realized that he had been such a failure. At the end of 7 years, he witnessed his first conversion. And many began coming to Christ once he fully gave his garden to God. The fruit grew so abundant that Otto began exporting it and growing other types of fruit, such as bananas. His village became the most evangelized in the whole region. Yet for 7 years, he didn't have one convert. Otto realized something that we all must realize. To gain your life, you must lose it, along with your possessions. It was only when he gave his possessions to God that he became free from them. God measured back to him so much more once he had complete ownership. Let me ask you something this morning. Excuse me. Does your message line up with your life? In other words, does your walk line up with your talk? Do you live what you preach? Remember, church, Christians, remember who you are and remember whose you are. If we are going to further the kingdom of God, if we are to evangelize the world, if we are to fulfill there's a mosquito in here, if we're going to fulfill the Great Commission that we have been given, we need to give ownership of all that we are and all that we have to God. We must become stewards and not owners. If we do that, I believe we'll be surprised at how well God can take care of his possessions. I'm Pastor Mark. Love you guys. Be safe, be well, be blessed, be strong. Go do something for Jesus. And I'll see you tomorrow.